I'll assume you've read the passage already. Which of the following, according to the author, is true of bassoons? Where do we find out about bassoons? Well, we find out that you can't give a high soprano register to the bassoons, and you also have the mocking character of the bassoon could naturally assume a lighthearted aspect. So we need to see which of these is something the author says. A, they cannot be used to play sad phrases. Well, there's nothing about that necessarily. It says it could be used to give a lighthearted aspect, which means that it's not normally a lighthearted aspect, so this is not really something the author says. They have naturally a cheerful timbre. No, that's not necessarily true either, because again, the author says, he or she says, it could assume a lighthearted aspect, which means it isn't that ordinarily. They produce a tonally weighty sound. Well, we find out that it can't be in the high soprano register, and it could assume a lighthearted aspect, but it isn't that normally, so this one's possible. They are seldom taken seriously as instruments, no. They are easily associated with melancholy, so melancholy doesn't actually register there. It says it's not normally lighthearted. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily melancholy. So of these, between C and E, these are probably the only two that actually match up with what the passage kind of says. Melancholy is possible, but there's nothing, and melancholy is actually talking about the flute. So I think this one's meant to trap people who are just kind of skimming. So that leaves choice C as the much better answer. We read between the lines and say, well, if it can assume lighthearted aspect, it's not normally that, and it's the opposite of a high sound, so that would mean a heavier one. So choice C.